Hi friends, today I am going to explain what is container. Container is nothing but a standardized unit of software. So in a container where you package up application code, all its libraries and dependencies together as one software package so that the application can run quickly from one computing environment to another computing environment. So I will explain one scenario. From the past 15 and 20 years, the developers are developing the application code and they are testing that application code in their own environment, that is their laptop or in the development environment. So once they successfully tested in their environment, they are passing it to the next stage, that is QA environment. So whenever the testing people testing the application code, it is breaking in that environment and they are reporting the same problem to the developers, and the developers are complaining that the application is working fine in their environment, why it is not working in the QA environment. So there was a problem that the application is missing some libraries or dependencies. So in order to overcome this problem, container provides a solution that it packages up application code and all its dependencies and libraries together and make it as a one package, and we can deploy that container from one computing environment to another computing environment, and it will run successfully from development environment to the QA environment. So that is the solution provided by the container. And next, containerized software will always run the same regardless of the infrastructure. So whether you are running in development environment, QA environment, staging or production, it will run the same. And containers are lightweight. Why containers are lightweight? Because container will share the underlying operating system kernel and resources. We are not installing the separate guest operating system inside the containers, and containers will run as a separate process, and each container will have separate IP address, and each container will have separate mount point attached to it. So these are the features of a container. So what are the features of a container? Means it is a lightweight, no separate guest operating system should be installed in the containers, and each container will run as a separate process. Each container will have separate IP address, and each container will contains the separate mount points attached to it. Okay. So next, so what is the difference between container and VM? So VM we are using from the past 20 years in the software industry. So what is the difference between container and VM? Means container is a lightweight, whereas VM is not a lightweight. Why container is lightweight? Because it utilizes the underlying host OS kernel and it shares the underlying resources. We are not installing the separate guest operating system inside the container, whereas in case of VM we are installing the separate guest operating system in the VM, and the boot up time of VM is very high and the boot up time of container is very less. And container consumes less resources, whereas VM consumes more resources. Container consumes resources in MB, whereas VM consumes the resources in GB. So that is the main difference between container and virtual machines. So first, container is a lightweight, where VM is not a lightweight. No need of installing separate guest operating system in containers. We need to install the separate guest operating system, whereas in case of VM. Okay, so that is the two main difference between container and virtual machine. So in the next slide you can see here, in virtual machine it utilizes more resources, more GB, and boot up time is more, whereas in case of container the resources are less utilized and less space in MB is consumed and boot up time is less. Thank you friends. If you have any questions, please comment in the comment section. Please subscribe to my channel Dantam Gautam Reddy. Thank you.